This what I tell them. Look,
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with a topic session with my guy Quinton Spears, and I've interviewed him, known him for a while now. Great guy, but he's a really good college athlete. Was blessed to go and play pro football, and so have achieved some really cool things, and so. We had a conversation, and that's kind of a deal that's kind of big on me here lately, is the transition, and the transition of athletes going from, at any level, high school, college, or pros, going from, being an athlete, living the athletic life, going to real life, and so, some, really struggle with the transition of not playing sports anymore, or going to different avenues. And so I've seen so many people, things not go so well. So I wanted to hit on that topic. So first, man, thanks so much for taking the time to hanging out with me and talking the transition.
Oh, no problem at all. I appreciate you. Every time I, come on, you introduce me well, and I just always appreciate that. I'm a humble guy, so hearing nice things, it does make me smile sometimes.
There you go. Well, let's talk to us about, if you don't mind. I mean, I gave your name and kind of where you from. If you don't mind, kind of just talking a little bit about your playing experience.
Definitely. Well, I did go to PVAMU. Shout out PV. They definitely got the dub today in the Swag Me Egg Challenge. So, I see y'all boys out there doing it. But yes, college was great, All American. And I accomplished so much, and then I made it to the NFL, and of course, well, I don't know if you want to jump right into the.
Oh, come on, let's go, let's hit it, let's get hot.
We can get right into okay,
yeah.
And the transition from NFL to when your days are done, is something that is very tough. Is not a lot of people understand it, but a lot of athletes go through it, whether it's from your high school days. You played high school since Pee-wee, you play junior high, you play high school, then you're done. They go through that same experience, and even the college guys, if they make it to the college level, of course they play high school ball, made it to college, and then they're done. And then the NFL, you make it even further. You get to that level, and one day it stops. And that's as an athlete, something that you've been doing your whole life is something that you love. It's something that you you have great memories. And so when that's over, I don't want to get dark, but it's something similar to like a death.
Yeah.
Like because when somebody dies, it's you're sad because of you no longer were able to make those memories with that person, and it's somebody you love. And then same thing with football. Hey, when it's over, it's tough. Everybody deals with things differently. So I know, depression is real. You do have to recognize those thoughts, because a lot of athletes that when the game is over, they go through that withdrawal. Because it's something that they love. It's something that they have great memories from. Their lives were centered around that activity. So it's definitely something that not a lot of people are conscious of, and there's a lot of athletes out there, not just football. To basketball, you got track, you have every avenue, and that's something that they really enjoy doing and they have a passion for. Most people try to stay around it. Like me, I coach and I mentor, because I still have that love and passion for the game, even though I can't play. I want to help those that, do play.
Yeah.
And that's kind of me staying in the arena, and I'm not actually in the arena anymore. So,
one thing that, as you were discussing that, and I've talked about this too, is just, in order to be great at what you do, it takes a lot of time that you invest in it.
mm-hmm.
You talk about, growing up from Pee Wee to junior high to high school to college. I mean, you look at the hours that you sacrifice of things that you want to do or fun, but you have to sacrifice putting in the work to hone your craft, and so when you go to where, you've invested so much into this, and then it's over.
It's over. It's over. Like,
You
boom,
know, like
boom.
bam, like
Hey, ain't nothing you could do about it. Hey,
right.
you can drag it out. You could, but I mean, when it's, when the game's done, the game's done. That's what we try to get the kids to understand too. One day the ball's gonna go flat because a lot of them depend on I guess the temporary thought of I just want to make the NFL, make the money. Hey, one day you got to get to that level for one.
Yeah.
But one day, hey, it's gonna be done. And you have to have a plan B. You have to have something that you can depend on, fall back on, which was, education and degree for most people who went through college or made to professional. But still that love and that, like you said, all that time that you've invested,
Right.
all that time, like I said, it's tough. It's tough. And most people do try to stay around it. Like you'll see, people still around the sport. Of course, coaches, we still have that passion for the sport, so we stay around it also. Even though our days are done, we just try to give back and, mentor those because that's our passion and that's what we still love. So
what were some of the toughest things that you had to deal with in your transition?
well, just realizing that real life has started. Like the other, while playing ball, that's not real life. You're very well taken care of. You have no expenses. Everything is handled. You don't have to cook. I mean, if you whatever is there, everything is there. So that's not real life.
Yeah.
So once that ends, you realize this is totally different.
Yeah.
depending on how many chips you got in the bank, it could be a total wake up call, to some, and some might still be very comfortable depending on, how long they played or how much they saved or invested, or things of that nature. But you do, you have a shift in money, of course, because you're no longer making that high income. So that's one thing you do notice. And of course, friends, you see a shift in friends, now that you no longer, play ball and, whatever perception they have of you, that's no longer there. So, they kind of go along their way, which is fine. I mean, if you know yourself and you're cool with that, you want a small circle anyway. And like I spoke about before, one thing that I actually did have to deal with was I recognize the thoughts of depression. So, you do become sad, you become down, I mean, that was your childhood dream,
Yeah.
and that's what you strive for. And now it's done. And nobody really thinks past that childhood dream of, being an NFL player or being an astronaut or a doctor or whatever the case may be. What if that's done? That childhood dream, you got it, you made it, and then now you need something else.
Yeah. What's your next?
Right. So that's when you have to, have a real self-reflection and see what your passions are and what you enjoy. And mine, of course, I knew it was kids. I love giving back. So I knew that was going to be something I enjoyed. And of course, staying in the game of coaching. I love it. I love it. So it's just that transition was hard. I mean, very, very hard, because you have to realize those things change. And, if you're not a grounded person, and, you can really fall tough, depending on where your mind is, and, how much real friends and family you have around you.
It's it's funny you mentioned about, how things are taken care of for you. I can remember a time in college where not having much money at all and going for weeks and not even having to use it. you
Right,
know,
right.
as
Yes, sir.
far as, your gear and meals and those
Yes,
kind of
sir.
things. But granted, you work for it. Don't get
Right, right, right.
you
But
know,
it, but it wasn't real. It wasn't real yet.
yeah, and
It
so like
wasn't
you're
real
going
yet.
and I mean like, where I'm from, food, like hey, I mean like we can go back and get more, like whatever.
Right, for free.
Yeah, for free. Like we could just eat, like
Yeah. Yes.
like steak
Right.
buffets, all
Eating
of this
good.
kind of stuff,
Eating good. Don't have no real, obligations or concerns yet. You ain't really living real life yet.
Yeah.
Still have that, that boundary. But when that's over, it is that wake up.
Hmm.
It is that wake up, and that's a sink or swim moment for some people.
Yeah.
Because you gotta figure it out pretty quick.
So tell us, how you um have overcome your transition.
Like I said, you have to have that real self reflection with yourself,
Yeah.
and that's what really helped me overcome that transition. And of course, the NFL, they provide all types of services, of transition services and things of that nature. So they make it very easy for you to transition. But you do have to have that talk with yourself before, and find out things that you really want to do, things you really have a passion for. Because if you don't, you can't settle for a job, but that would be miserable. You wouldn't be happy. So you want to definitely find something that you have a passion for and want to do. And that was very easy for me. So it was a pretty good transition, I would say.
Do
I
you,
would wish I had a little bit more bread in the bank, but but hey, it is what it is on that.
yeah. What about um I don't know, I know you've played with a lot of guys and you've seen, how things have gone, some good for some bad for some. If there's I guess two parts to this. Do you think that if you have a good set of core common values before all of that, the transition is easier for you?
Definitely, definitely. If you were somebody that had those core values,
Hmm.
or were firmly rooted with just the basic principles of mannerable, being nice, kind, you know those type of deals, and you fail, you would have a balance.
Yeah,
But if you were a hot-headed person, really reckless, whatever the case may be, and then you fall, it might be a totally different scenario.
yeah,
So you might be in survival mode. Well, of course you're going to survival mode, but you know having those core values instilled in you does keep you at a higher level. I would say, if bad things do happen, you can find peace, and you can find understanding, and learn your lessons from those
yeah.
bad things happening earlier than just placing blame or fault on whatever the situation may be.
And I said that because, like, like I know the person that you are, and I know, you have those core common values, and you've always been I think you've always been a great guy, solid dude, hard working, um, very respectful, humble guy, like you said,
So,
and I think when you have all of those things, those are recipes for success in anything you do, I think. And so when you are respectful of people, before any of that, you know,
right, right,
people will be more apt to help you because they know that you're a genuine good guy, you
definitely.
know.
You planted those seeds along the way.
Yeah,
You planted those seeds of kindness. And people know your loyalty, and this person's not a shysty person. He's a honest guy, and things of that nature. So, you know they can come back and grow and be fruitful, just from those casual encounters, your teacher or, whatever the case may be. You never know later down the line, say, oh, I remember Quinton Spears. He was such a good kid, da, 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 da. And that has a snowball effect. But on the same token, if you wasn't that guy,
Yeah.
like, oh, I remember Quinton Spears, and it was a negative deal, then that was spread also. But luckily, and I mean, not luckily, I was raised, to have those core values and spread those good seeds, and they have been fruitful. So, just being polite and kind and, just yourself. It should be yourself. It should be, the way you want to treat people. So, if you just, walk around treating people like you want to treat yourself, you're going to be all right in life.
Yeah, I truly believe you get what you give.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So last question, any advice that you have for, athletes, any level, that could possibly be going through the transition, any advice for them that you have that you would like to share to help them get through their transition the right way?
Definitely. I would say I definitely understand, whatever, point you are in your, transition or your path. But I would actually have to say that if you recognize those thoughts of, sadness and, depression, you have to definitely catch those thoughts. And, you have to ask yourself, what will me being depressed or what will me being sad or whatever accomplish? What will it achieve? But we understand it because it's human nature, you know what I'm saying? So, but you have to ask yourself, so you don't slide into that, 6-month, year, 2-year depression, because it's very real.
Yeah.
So you have to recognize those thoughts that can lead that to that path, just sadness, whatever the case may be, because it's very understandable. Because this is your baby, your sport is your baby. You've been doing it since you were little. You love it. You have a passion for it. You remember family members at the game or like the big hit or the touchdown you made. Those things are all, understandable because you hold them tight. But you do have to transition to, and understand there is chapter 2, 3, and 4 of your life. So hopefully you wasn't totally dependent on the sport, but hopefully you have those people around you that can lift you up, in your time of sadness, because it is totally normal and understandable. But I would just say try to recognize those thoughts and try to get out of that, place, because I would probably say in the high 90 percentile, athletes, when it's over, they do, feel some type of depression. And, if those thoughts aren't recognized, they can go down a slippery slope. So my advice, I mean, I know that was kind of left, but it's definitely real because I experienced it, Coach.
Yeah.
So that's, and I just want to give that person that may be going through that, that advice. Just, it's definitely understandable, but you got to rise up out of it and, get moving, get your transition on, find something you have a passion for, you love doing, and that you enjoy. And then you'll never work a day in your life if you really enjoy what you do. So find that, go to that, and you're going to be all right.
All right, man. Well, I like it. I think it was something that you said in there. You talked about the chapter. I think definitely it's not the book.
Yeah.
At the end of the book.
It's not the end of the book.
So keep on with the chapter and, go to the next chapter. And then when you have the book of your life, you will see that you have gone through some things and it's made you better. But more than that, it's made you better so that you, just like you're doing right now, can share your story with others to help them be better.
Yes, sir. And then, of course, sports teaches you things also, coaches, they teach you life lessons within there. So, if you played that game and you love that game, you've learned the life lessons that you need to make it, because it's very life oriented. And plus you have a team member, you have a group of people. So you know, that it is very transferred to life. So you've made it to that, coach. I know you instill, you know, those life lessons in your players, and I do too. So, you know, you'll definitely be all right if you had a coach like me and Chip.
All right. Well, there it is. Well, Q again, man. Thank you so much for talking the transition, and I hope that you guys that are watching, I hope that you know, it's some good stuff that you picked up from that. And if you know anybody that's going through the transition, you know, any level, you know, high school, college, pro, you know, please share this with them. You know, I know we know, you know, former athletes as well. We know that it's not an easy deal, and so you know, this is our way of trying to give back to help guys, help ladies get through that. So thanks so much for taking the time to checking out this topic session on the transition. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Yes, sir.
Go get it.